That wasn't close.
No doubt that the backhand was close. It's a big sigh from Stoltenberg. Sampras looking in vain for the mark.
Certainly had the feeling of going out, did it not? He must have just got the very outside of the line. Sampras finding it difficult to find the mark, suggesting just that.
So we need one of those baseline cameras that we had in Prague. Stoltenberg wishes the line judge had a replay. There's Norm Christ in the chair. Stoltenberg seemingly satisfied that he had indeed just missed down the centre. Sweet angle.
That's enterprise from Stoltenberg, which he's not lacked in this match. I thought Sampras missed his opportunity, a slight mishit on the backhand return, but it really floated deep and gave him the opportunity really of getting in rather quickly in that rally. And an opportunity lost and an opportunity taken by Stoltenberg.
Well, this really is becoming a marathon game. 7th deuce. Up to the 2.5 hour mark. There's been that doubt about Sampras' stamina, not that he's unfit. Just, I suppose some people naturally are blessed with greater stamina than others. Well played, Jason Stoltenberg. Staves off a couple of break points and stays ahead, and Sampras will have to serve for a second's time to stay in the match. And there's no wonder, big sigh of relief from Stoltenberg.
Yes, well, he's blowing a bit, as you would expect, after 2.5 hours, but of course what has really saved him is the fact that he's won all his matches really pretty handsomely. Hasn't really been stretched in the tournament. Sampras is the one who's played a bit more tennis. And Stoltenberg really looking pretty sharp. Apart from that one little sequence, as I mentioned, where he looked a little tentative when he's needed to. He's so often looked pretty enterprising, going for his shots, as if he really feels that, or has felt all along, that this is a match he can well win. Of course, by now he knows he can win it.
Stoltenberg getting to the final without dropping a set. Sampras' toughest match was against Davide Sanguinetti, the Italian, in the second round, 6-3, 5-7, 7-5. But in addition to that, in every other match, Sampras had taken to at least one tiebreak. In contrast, the longest set Stoltenberg has played has been a 6-4 set.
Yes, if Sampras is feeling it at this stage of a tournament like this, how on earth is he ever going to get through the French, which he obviously desperately wants to win, where every match is played over 5 sets, and every match will almost take as long as this.
Five, 6, 15.
Well, certainly no signs in these 2 shots here that he is feeling tired. He'll be forgetting how to serve nearer the center line. If he does go there, of course, for his second serve.
Yes, I doubt we'll see this tactic at Wimbledon somehow.
No.
And I suppose some of our viewers might say, well, why not?
Well, because he'll be into the net a lot more and taking the shortest route from the center line. He might try it if people are hitting balls past him all the time, but that's not so easy on grass.
It's difficult to serve first and second serves from a completely different perspective, as it were.
Yes, it can be off-putting, but he's been doing it so many times now. He's got into a routine.
Yes, I'm a little surprised at that. They're both going to have a little look at it.
It hit so gently, there wouldn't be much of a mark, but it felt out to me.
That's the man who called it in. I always felt it was going out. Norm Chris says, well, he did catch the outside of the line. Stoltenberg not entirely convinced, but it will be a tie-break to decide the final. Reminder that, of course, Sampras won the first 2 points of the first set tie-break. Stoltenberg the next 7.
Yes, which puts Sampras, at my calculations, 10-2 in tiebreakers won this year. Stoltenberg 4-5. And that's 8 points in a row in tiebreakers for Stoltenberg against Sampras, is it?
Certainly is. That's not a bad record. I don't think many men will be able to claim that this year.
Well, you might figure why Stoltenberg didn't try for this, but I think Sampras, realizing that Stoltenberg had given up the chase, just got it back into court. Had Stoltenberg run, he would have played with more of an angle on it. Just holding back on that, see there, he wasn't really looking to go into the net, and you've almost got to tell yourself that even if you're not going into the net, you've got to play the shot as if you are, because then you get more weight into it. Otherwise you hold back off the shot and try and do it with the arm only.
The little block return just skimming down the line, and Sampras has the first point against the serve in the tiebreak. But of course he did in the first set tiebreak. 1-3.
Certainly enough advice.
Yes. The crowd's never backwards in coming forwards. The only advice I've never heard at the US Open is something like, well, go out and get a hot dog, Pete. Would you like a bite of mine? They've normally got enough hot dogs and popcorn in the courtside seats.
Yes, they talk about no coaching on court, but there are a multitude of would-be coaches around this one.
Changed ends at 4-2.
Well, Sampras may be looking for, should Stoltenberg miss a first serve, maybe looking for a big forehand.
It's a lovely deep approach from Stoltenberg. They're giving Sampras no chance to counter-attack. Oh dear. That could well be fatal so far as Stoltenberg's concerned, because it's given Sampras 3 championship points.
Infuriating, because he knows he had him cut for the net cord.
If Stoltenberg could somehow contrive to win this next point, they'd be back on serve in the breaker. Even though Sampras would have one more match point. He's done it. A 54th career title for Pete Sampras. A first on American clay, and he's still a little bit of stick in some quarters for going back to America, having come over to Europe and going back to Europe, but it's all panned out pretty well for him.
Yes, he will have silenced a few critics, really, and perhaps laid the ghost of that terrible 1-6-1-6 loss to Santoro in Monte Carlo. This is will have made it for him as close as Stoltenberg came.
So Sampras is the champion, and poor Jason Stoltenberg, runner-up for a second year and runner-up 3 times